Reporting live from Hyper Clubhouse in Atlanta for Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. The case of Sean Diddy Combs has got to be one of the biggest developing stories of 2024, and as the news continues to be revealed, threats of other high-profile names being involved is what's got everyone talking. Just last week, it was announced there are 120 new allegations coming towards the music mogul's way. Attorney Tony Busby, who's representing the new accusers, would state that the names involved will shock you. Now, for the last several weeks, online users would attempt to implicate Jay-Z and Beyonce as the next celebrities to be named in these harmful cases. Singer Jaguar Wright would recently appear in an interview with Piers Morgan on his YouTube channel where she alleged Jay-Z and Beyonce have hundreds of victims. Morgan would eventually be forced to apologize for the false claims about the couple after he received a cease and desist letter where they threatened to take legal action. After apologizing, Morgan would state Wright's interview was edited in order to remove her claims. Now, aside from Jay-Z and Beyonce, people have brought up Oprah Winfrey's name as another who might be connected to Combs, causing people to wonder if black wealth is under attack. Twitter user TPV Sean would accuse Winfrey of buying a Diddy tape of an underage Justin Bieber being raped. According to the source, she paid $75 million for the footage of Combs raping an underage Bieber and Aaron Carter, among other child stars. Under the comments of the video, many online users were asking for evidence for these wild allegations.
Hollywood pimp Oprah Winfrey paid $75 million to purchase sex tapes of Sean Diddy Combs raping an underage Justin Bieber. Oprah has been hiding in plain sight for decades, using the media to shield her from the truth. But this time, there's no covering it up. The truth is finally coming to light.
Not too long ago, Dr. Umar would make an appearance on the platform The Art of Dialogue, calling out several influencers in the pursuit of taking down black celebrities. There, he would condemn many jealous YouTubers of preying on the downfall of any black person that is more successful than them because he hasn't seen any concrete evidence implicating Jay-Z, Mary J. Blige, or other black celebrities that have been named online.
I don't see any evidence of it. What I see are jealous YouTubian struggle streamers who glory in the downfall of any black person who is more successful than they are.
With accusations being thrown out by everyone, we're now in an age of misinformation, where anybody can say anything about anyone without the fear of consequences. Today we have our Comedy Hype analysts, Lav Love and Steve Brown on the show to talk all about it. But before we get started, elections are about putting people in office who will fight for you. People who will stand on business about the issues important to you. Climate change is increasing natural disasters like hurricanes and floods that are devastating communities, especially communities of color. And we need urgent action. On behalf of HBCU Green Fund, get out and vote to ensure your voice is heard and your values are represented. Vote early or on Election Day on November 5th. Now, Lab, I want to start with you because we heard from Dr. Umar where he says, he's not saying not hold these people accountable, but he thinks a lot of YouTubers are, feeling jealous and wanting to take down these black celebrities. Let me get your thoughts. What are your thoughts on it? Do you agree with Dr. Umar?
All right, so first, this is probably one of the few times me and B.A. Baracus agree because he look like Mr. T in that bit. Anyway, so I typically don't agree with, we clash heads, but this one I agree with. And anybody who's seen me on Comic View back in the days, I got a whole set by how I thought Diddy was the devil. So I'm not a Diddy fan at all. Never have been. Because I think he's a shady individual. But let me say this. I do think that there is a huge rush to throw him under the bus, convict him, and then to sweep as many other people up under the rug and up under the bus with him. You threw Jay-Z's name in there, you threw Beyonce's name in there, Mary J. Blige. I mean, every week is somebody else, and it is top tier celebrities. And now you throw Oprah in there. It's like, well, Oprah, they've been trying to, sometimes you just got to use common sense. Do you really think Oprah could spend $75 million to buy a tape, this particular tape, and then distribute it, because that's what he said. She's been distributing it to pedophiles for a price, and ain't nobody said nothing in all these years. As much hate as Oprah get, you think they wouldn't have put that out here somewhere? Man, I got this from Oprah. Somebody would have been put her on blast because of the stuff she owned. They didn't, simply for the fact because they want to own what she owned, they did put her on blast. So that don't even, just from a business standpoint, that don't make sense. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Steve, let me bring you in. Same thing. What are your thoughts on this? And do you agree with Dr. Umar?
Well, first of all, I love Dr. Umar. Sometimes he can be a little bit too woke. But Dr. Umar, first of all, I'm gonna say this: your outfit is terrible. I've seen you wear better. The outfit, them Chinese folks fooled you on that van. That outfit, shirt, hat combo is awful. But listen,
plenty of food.
It's awful. But you know what, man? He is right. I feel like people are trying to get rid of a lot of our high-profile Black celebrities. I really believe that. With this thing with Diddy, is a lot of evidence against him. But this Oprah thing is really, really kind of far-fetched. $75 million, you know, to get the Baby Oil Chronicles. She handed them out. You get the Chronicles. You get the Chronicles. I don't see that. And by the way, Oprah, I think she was a victim of sexual assault as well. So why would she be in on something like that? That's kind of far-fetched. So I'm not buying that. But I do agree with Dr. Umar.
Yeah, and Steve, you know, he's specifically talking about YouTubers. You know, typically these are people who don't have credible sources. Typically, I know here, you know, because we are based on YouTube, we always try to like dig deep. Where did this come from? Who said this? Who said that? Do you think there needs to be a real penalty? Because I don't think there's a real penalty other than you saw Piers Morgan, who got a cease and desist. But, you know, it's like, oh, you apologize and you take it down. Do you think there needs to be a more crucial penalty for people who are spreading misinformation?
I do. I think it needs to be a harsh penalty because, you know, people are doing any and everything to be relevant, even at the expense of others' reputations and livelihoods. And that's just not fair. You can really damage someone financially. You could even drive them to suicide because the world is an evil place now. So I feel like if you do something like that, I feel like harsh consequences should take place. I really believe that.
Lab, let me get your thoughts on that, because I know we've even had conversations when you've been in studio where, you know, people are on your social media saying things and, you know, they see one thing and they run with it. What are your thoughts? Do you think there needs to be a real penalty for people that spread misinformation?
100%, especially when you say and spread things that potentially could damage people's brand. Mm-hmm. Because the thing about the internet is once it's out there, it's out there. And there's no way of pulling it back now. You know, back in the days, a newspaper could retract a story and you never saw or heard that story again. But once somebody posts something on the internet, y'all know, like we know people screenshot it, other people repost it. Mm-hmm. And so it will live on forever. And then like some Steve said, like the mental piece of it. Mm-hmm. Justin Bieber had a whole mental breakdown.
Yep, several.
About how the industry was treating him and all this stuff right here. Can you imagine if these tapes truly exist and a tape exists of him getting sexually assaulted is put out in public, what that could do to him mentally? These people don't see it, and that's the problem. These people don't care about none of that. They just want clout. Want to post it. They just want to get the clicks and the views, and they don't care about the fallout and the ramifications for this. So I think, hell yeah, there should be stiff penalties. If this tape is released, and they can prove who released this tape, they need to go to jail. And Justin Bieber does something to himself, I think they need to go to jail for that.
Held accountable. You know, and I want to add this too, Symphony. I also found out that when they found that baby oil and stuff, I think Smart Ass University shirt was found as well. I just wanted to put that out there.
You know what?
But it was a chick wearing the Smart Ass University shirt, so we okay with that. She was doing a little Winnie the Pooh type action, so we good.
Lab, let me ask you this, because Lab, like I said, we've had those conversations in studio where, and what I really love and appreciate, like you always do your research. Every time we talk about a topic, you're like, hey, that's cool, that's an opinion, that's something that you heard from another celebrity or another source, but it's not credit, and you're always going to find that source. I think information like this can be so detrimental to our community, right? Because you have older people. I have people in my family, they see something on Facebook and they run with it. They take it as like, oh, this is king, this is true. What are some ways that people can verify their sources? What are the ways that when you are putting out information or you're having these conversations with people, what are some ways that people can verify their source to make sure it's, whether it's real or not?
Well, now with the information age, the reality is a lot of times the truth is a short Google search away.
Mm-hmm.
It is that simple. Just don't take. And then the thing about it, don't get me wrong. Now, you can Google search and then stuff can pop up that's still not necessarily be the truth. So what I typically do is I look at the first one or two stories, if it's opinion based type thing. And then what I'll do is I'll scroll to like the second page of the results, because then you start to find out stuff that might contradict what you have read in the first. And then you kind of read between the lines and truly have a discerning eye to what you read. And then between all of the information, a lot of times you can get to the truth for real. You just got to be, and then you got to know the difference between somebody's blog page. You Google something, and then the answer pops up, and it's somebody's blog. Well, that's still somebody else's opinion. Where's this person getting their information from? So you got to nail it down and get to a reputable information source, and then compile your answer. That's kind of how I do it right there.
Right.
And reputable ain't necessarily always news outlets, because news outlets get stuff wrong sometimes too. So, I think that's the best way. A lot of times people just don't do their due diligence though.
And I think that's the thing, taking the time. Go ahead, Steve.
It all boils down to, in this day and time, people are just lazy when it comes. They don't want to do the research. They don't want to do the research, and it gets a lot of people in trouble. And that's why, and I'm gonna go here too. That's why so many problems in the church. They just take what the pastor says, and they don't look up the scripture and just look it up for themselves. So it's a lot of that going on, man. And then is another factor. News, like you said, news sources aren't always right, because now in this day and time, it's not important for them to be right. It's now important for them to be the first to report it. Then they'll recant later on. But I'm gonna say this: if you hear anything about me out here, 9 times out of 10, it's true.
I think
the pictures of you booed up with Aaron Carter.
Wait a minute, whoa!
The picture you booed up with Aaron Carter, them real.
That was a headlock, bro. That was a headlock.
That's what he said. It was a headlock. That's what he said.
I tell you every time, Steve, I don't know, I'm gonna have to find something. Now that you're like away from me, I'm gonna have to look something to buzz you or something when I can tell you starting to go offline. But no, I do appreciate, I think both of you bring up great points. Even watching this guy that brings up Oprah Winfrey, just like even paying attention to what he's saying, like he didn't give a credible source of where this came from. You didn't give me any true paper trail. So like you said, just exactly. Yeah, the way he was just like.
Yeah. So people just need to be truthful and stop lying to get clout. I mean, there's nothing wrong with reporting the truth. Like, to be honest, I'm naked. I just got this shirt on. I'm naked. It's hell.
See, now there's a difference between reporting the truth and too much information.
Thank you, Laugh. Thank you, Laugh.
I just want to be truthful and transparent. People need to be more. I'm naked.
We ain't need to know that. We ain't need to know that.
Thank you, Lab. I'm gonna give Steve some time to rest. As we close out, you guys know I like to know what you have going on. Lab, I see you in your smart A shirt. Tell us what you have coming up, and of course, how can people follow you?
That's right. Always get your Smart Ass University gear. We got Smart Ass University t-shirts. Get ready to be hoodie seasons. Well, for some places already hoodie season, so we got the hoodies, t-shirts, shorts, sweatpants, scullies, underwear, thongs, bras. We right now we R&D researching the little Smart Ass University feminine hygiene products right there. Right there. Yeah, we got everything. So that's it. Coming up, I'll be at Uptown Comedy Corner next Saturday, doing my thing. So come out and kick it with me next Saturday. And then Thursday, I'll be at Uptown Comedy Corner with Jack Thriller this Thursday too. So come kick it with me.
And of course, how can people follow you on social media?
Comedian Lab Love. Lab Love is LAVLUV. Again, it's LAVLUV. And that's the same thing on all platforms, including the website.
Absolutely. Last and certainly not least, now, Steve, I'm asking you a very specific question. What do you have coming up for comedy?
Oh, coming up for comedy, when I put my clothes on, I will be in Clarksville, Tennessee this Saturday. Show is almost sold out. I appreciate y'all, Clarksville, Tennessee, at the Joker's House of Comedy, a new comedy club. Also, I might show up in Uptown this Thursday to check out what Jack really got going on. I think it's going to be a blast. And of course, you can follow me on my Instagram, Comic Steve Brown, one word, on Facebook, Comedian Steve Brown fan page. And of course, I'll be going on Laugh Love's website to get some of his smart ass university baby oil.
I'm gonna start calling you Steve Winnie the Pooh because that's just gonna be a middle name. That's what we're gonna call you. Okay, we can talk about that. But as always, I appreciate you both for chiming in on this topic. But you heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. Remember, your vote is your voice. On behalf of HBCU Green Fund, get loud about issues that impact your community. Vote early or on Election Day, November 5th.